Welcome to Yerba Talks.
Welcome to the Aftershow. I am Max. This is Kat, also known as El Gato. And today we had a debate between myself, TJump, and Dr. Lionheart and Eric on Does God Exist? Sorry for the delay in starting. I had to change my shirt because I was dripping. Alrighty, before we do anything, make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, use the corner of your street, and you subscribe to Yerba Talks. And that way we can show that up for the channel. Alrighty, let's get that link over to you guys. Here we go. Many Mogis says, debate summary, baby's first contingency argument. Yeah, it always goes to that. I tried and failed to kind of move the debate towards the specifics of the God they believe in, but yeah, there wasn't too much. There wasn't too much feeling that. All right, link is there. Someone needs to come in because I'm not going to do the after show alone. Come on. The philosophy stuff is so boring. And I don't understand why for so long we've just let theists dictate whatever they want. They can just say, oh, God is the grounding for everything. No, it's not. Why would it be? There's no reason that should be that way. So I don't know. It's it's such a weird take. Was kind of hoping Dr. J and Isa would be around, but don't know where they are. Let me open my Discord and see. Tay says, philosophical arguments for God hurt my head and pisses me off. Yeah, my biggest problem is that, and I tried to ask this, is that gets you to a God, a conception of God. But it doesn't get you to the Christian God. And they don't believe in just any God. They believe in the Christian God specifically. Thank the Lord. Ale, hello. Welcome.
Hello, Max.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
All righty. Okay, so let's start with thoughts on the openings for the theists.
Yeah, for the TS. So Eric, this guy, like, I couldn't really hear what he was saying, or maybe because of his accent, I couldn't really understand him. Like a combination of his microphone and his volume and his accent, I couldn't really understand what he was saying. So yeah, that one was
it was very hard.
Yeah. But I think in the end, what I sort of understand among everything was like basically God grounds logic, and every argument that will be given here presupposes God. That's basically why I understood at the end from him. And the other guy, Matt, I think it was.
Yep.
It was sort of like a standard Christian presuppositions, assumptions, and opening. Like I think he said something. Yeah, everything begins to exist has a cause. Therefore, the universe has a cause, and that cause is God. Yeah, but pretty standard stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, the problem with that is number one, that's not convincing. Uh, that's not why they became Christians. This is all post becoming Christian cope. It's like
Yeah,
when they are asked to justify, they just invent stuff like that. But I honestly don't know why in 2026 years we still let them just invent whatever the hell they want. That is just wild to me because
yeah,
it's enough to say I reject your presupposition, and that's the argument, or I can just presuppose why it would be perfectly valid for me to say if they say, oh, God is the grounding for all logical knowledge and so on. If they are allowed to take that position, I am allowed to take the position that God not existing is the ground for everything.
yeah.
That it's a necessary step that God doesn't exist for there to be knowledge in the world, and
Yeah,
they can't just dismiss my argument because it's their argument just flipped.
yeah, I think that was basically TJump's opening, from what I understood about quantum field being like the origin of everything. That's what I got from him. So yeah,
Yes,
I think that was basically what he said. That I can just presuppose that the quantum field is. So,
yes, it's basically atheist presupposition, and I tend not to do that argument because it's lazy and dumb. But TJump does that. Taco does that.
yeah.
And honestly, I think that it's a little bit lazy. I would never say that. I would just
So
focus on the fact that yeah, I have no evidence to think that God exists. You can't provide the evidence. All you can do is just make a lazy argument.
yeah, no, I
And
think highlighting, like doing it as to demonstrate with their position that their argument is sort of dumb, I think it's fair. But yeah, definitely I wouldn't make it my starting argument either. So.
yeah, and especially I don't know because I'm not confident enough to talk about quantum mechanics, so it's like eh. And I don't know if you caught Basel asked TJump what courses he took.
Yeah,
That was nice. Mogi, hello, haven't seen you in a while. Says they're working on the audio, no problem. Just give us a sound check. Um, uh, Fugazi asked, "Is that Bugs Bunny?" Yes, of course. Love this shirt. Sub sister got wrecked by TJump. How does that feel? I don't know if I say I got wrecked. We have we have very different. Even though we're both atheists, we have very different views. Like, for example, when this guy said, "Oh, if you change gravity by a fraction of a percentage, then yada yada," it's like I don't think you can make that claim. I think that is just bullshit. And then TJump piled on and said like, "Oh no, yeah, that's fine," and gave a whole thing. It's like I think that is all just bullshit.
yeah. I
So
I think that the only thing I will argue with this comment is that Tillon was a better opposition for you for you guys than the other than the
yeah,
Christians. Like, oh my
I
god.
mean, in general, as you know, debate etiquette. Just if you don't correct your teammate, just let them go. Don't that is just weird.
Or at least just say like I don't agree with that, but yeah, I don't think like confronting the teammate is a good strategy.
No, weird. Subsister said, in Teachup's mind, only his arguments are good. Yeah, yeah. But I tried to get it out of this and take it to a more realistic thing. But nah, they weren't. They didn't have it. Like the guy didn't even know the verse. He asked me for the verse. I gave the verse, and he didn't even know that. Eric didn't even know that. what the hell I was talking about. But I think that my approach is like they believe in a very specific Bible. They believe, I'm sorry, in a very specific God. And if any of the attributes of that God, oh, sorry, a cat through my green screen. Um, any of those, if you break any of those, you break the whole thing.
Yeah, so I I understand where you're coming from. I sort of agree with TJump that that it's they're making like a general claim in the debate, right? But I do agree with you that they do believe in a very specific God, and so if you were to ask them which God they mean, it would be the triumni God, right? And the Christian God basically. And so they would say there is no other God, there's no possibility. So in that sense, I do think that your approach works. But if we approach it as a more generalized claim, I think I would agree with Tijom that maybe it's not the best strategy to just use the Bible or question the Bible, right? But that's where I'm at in that.
No, I mean, yeah, sure. But he did make the argument, oh, God's morality and objective morality. And I think I thoroughly cooked him on that. But apparently it's not enough. Even their perfect morality being broken is not enough for them to like realize. I don't know. It's weird. I will ask myself the question that I asked the debaters if I think I accomplished my purpose, and I don't think no. This was on me. I had a bad focus, but it's just the philosophy shit is so boring.
I don't know. I kind of like it sometimes.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, there are philosophers on all sides,
Mhm.
and they all invent stuff. They all just have kind of the same argument style, like we saw it today. The theist did precept, TJump did precept. So what's the difference there? It's a little bit weird to me. So thoughts on my opening, Ale? Let's go here.
So your opening, I think it was fine, especially like we said, they do believe in the triumni God, and so to like uh, expose like the flaws of the triumni God, it's basically debunking their view of God, and so technically you would they would have to consider that there is no God, or at least that there is not the God that they think of, because if they went to another God, okay, they could do that, but it would sort of be moving the goalpost in a way, because it was like I believed in this God, and I didn't think any God was possible, but now that this God I was demonstrated this God was impossible, now I do believe that the gods I believed were impossible exist. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I do like your approach. And regarding T-Jump, yeah, I also like T-Jump's opening. I'm a little bit I do like a little bit of atheistic presuppositionalism, because it exposes the Christian presuppositionalism, and I don't think any atheist really goes seriously with presup in their beliefs.
No,
And yeah, that's basically it.
I I agree with presenting the argument, the atheist precept. I agree with presenting that, but not as your main argument. I
Yeah,
agree with presenting it as a way to show that their argument is bullshit.
yeah, yeah. I
That,
think that would have been
but
good.
the way that TJump does it, where it's the crux of his argument, and I did read someone say in the side chat that basically what TJump is doing is saying that the God is the quantum field, and that I don't see any. How can you rebut that? Because that is exactly what he's doing. He is changing God for the quantum field, and that's it.
I mean, he's changing it, but he's not really saying that the quantum field is God, because uh, he's not assigning any agency or any consciousness to the quantum field. So
Right. But he says, "Oh, it creates all things," and they kind of have a point. Yeah, it doesn't have agency and it doesn't have some of the other characteristics, but fundamentally, what you're saying is that the creator of the universe is the quantum fields, which leads to them being able to actually say, like, "Oh, you're just saying that God is the quantum field."
um,
And they're not entirely wrong, they're not entirely right, but why put yourself in that position? I don't like that. Dragon Sword, you think if morality came from God it would lead by example? Yes, that's my point. But they always say that God can do whatever the hell he wants. Apparently rules don't apply to him. I had this conversation yesterday on a server. We were with Icy Spin and some other people on the worldwide debate server, and the guy crashed out. Oh my, he got thoroughly cooked like a rotisserie chicken. Damn, it was insane. Now I will be publishing that video soon. Icy Spin has to get it over to me. The 2FA. Oh, Mogi can't connect, having some problems. That's weird. That
usually,
is.
usually these debates have more people, right? The after shows.
Yeah, but Toon is live today.
That explains a lot.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know where Isa and Dr. J are.
I like Tune, but I don't know.
Robin, I saw Robin in the debate, but
Mhm.
no idea. Well, never. Who? It doesn't
I
matter.
like Tune, but I don't know. I get kind of bored with some of his streams because he's explaining something and then he goes like on a tangent and he stays a lot on that tangent and doesn't finish explaining what he was
But
doing.
that
Or
happens to all of us. That
yeah, but
happens
I
to
feel
everyone.
Like Tune does it more than the average or the average debunker. So
Subsister, not only is it boring, but neither side knew what they were talking about when it came to philosophy, just assertion. I mean, yeah, it takes a lot, and I don't know enough to make a judgment, but I've seen people say that TJump is bad. I've seen people say that TJump is the best. So I don't know.
so I don't know. Like when it came to atheistic presupposition, fine. But when it came to rebutting like the other guy's points, I think he was doing pretty well. The issue is that from what I noticed, I don't know what the other guys were doing there because they seemed to be unable to understand the concept of an internal critique.
oh
Like
boy, yeah.
they thought Tjump was actually arguing uh, similar things to their positions, and they just couldn't grasp that he was like granting some of their positions in order to make a critique of them. They were getting so confused, and being I was just baffled that how could they not get what Tjump was doing.
Well, I mean, it did seem that both were kind of newish to the debate team because a couple of times where we called out fallacies, their response was like, "Nope," and nothing else. But they were committing the fallacies.
Yeah. What I will give them is that they were polite. So
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fine. The problem with atheist precept is that the Christian precept's entire goal is to get to the other side to admit that they're also making presuppositions, so it plays right into their hand. But it goes both ways. It goes both ways. So yeah, that's why I don't do that. It's because I think that just doing it as a way to illustrate how they're just presupposing stuff is fine, but then not making it as your main argument. I mean, for me, the actual main argument is there is no evidence for God other than people just claiming stuff. And when it comes to the philosophical, the morality argument to me is the strongest one. They think that it's perfect morality, but their God is a monster. And the idea that How can something outside of space time do anything, right? Okay. Uh, so open discussion, Ale. Thoughts?
Uh, yeah, I mean, open discussion. Like I said, the Christians didn't seem able to capable to understand what was an internal critique. As also, I think it was like the very first response TJump gave to Matt. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was, oh yeah, about the everything that exists has a reason to exist or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
Matt made the analogy of the chicken and the egg, and Tijom was just real trying really hard to get him to understand. Okay, you're not even saying that everything that begins to exist. That's not it. That wasn't even his premise. It was everything that exists, which basically fucked his own argument. Because
Mm-hmm.
Tejum then said, okay, then what is the reason that God exists? And he just couldn't get it. How I don't know how he was not getting it, even with the chicken and egg analogy that Tijum said, okay, God exists, so God is your egg. What is God's chicken? And he still couldn't get it. He couldn't. I don't. He didn't get it, or he didn't see the circularity, because he said the universe chickens. The universe's chicken is God, and God's chicken is the universe. Or he said at one point that the universe is the reason for God's existence, and so brother, you just said that God is the reason for the universe, so you cannot have the universe as the reason for God. So it was it was pretty frustrating in that, but also pretty funny.
Yeah. If you watch, there's a moment that I go like this
Mhm.
while TJump is talking because I was
Yeah.
illustrating the lovely circle he was making. Because yeah, you explained it perfectly. That's what he was doing. Um, Now, I would tend to think, and then we got into like the Big Bang and so on, and all of these things, and so it's all so boring because it's like, dude, I'm not a cosmologist. You are not a cosmologist. Why are we even talking about this? Just you just presupposed that God created the universe, but let me tell you, there's like infinite possibilities in between. It could be
Mhm.
like you could take like the Gnostic position that it was a minor deity, or you could take whatever the hell else position,
Yeah.
like I don't know, Odin or the Greek gods or anything else in between.
Yeah. There was also a part. I think it was you who responded that they said something about, oh yeah, if evolution is the source of morality, why there is immorality? I think they specifically used the word immorality.
Hmm.
I think I would have said because immorality is not a thing. Morality is like the analysis of things, whether they're moral or not. Like morality is not a state of a thing. Morality is just like the study, and then there can be morally good things and morally bad things, but immorality itself is not a thing. Immorality would be amoral, I think. Or like maybe if you use a more colloquial meaning of morality, okay, sure, immorality means bad, but I think morality is just like the study of whether things are good or bad, or the analysis of whether of behavior of whether it is good or bad. And immorality is just not something that actually exists.
Hmm. Um, yeah, why are there people that are like immoral and so on? It's like, yeah, there's people that are crazy, there's people that have psychological, pathological, and yada yada myriad of issues that can lead to immorality. What gets me is that they don't understand that God's morality changes throughout the book. So them claiming that it's objective is just nonsense. It's nonsense definitionally. But even if we grant, like, oh yeah, God's morality is objective, then why does he change his freaking mind, like
Yeah,
more than once?
I think that that's like when your argument comes out played, right? Because they assert that without God there's no objective morality, and then you can like narrow down their God and then give the examples based on their God.
Yeah. But and even the morality within and I showed the I illustrated it with the example of sexual liberation and how our thoughts on sexuality have changed, even in the Christian understanding itself. The Jewish idea of sodomy was
Mhm.
any type of sex that wasn't for the purposes of reproduction, right? And now
Mhm.
we understand that sex also has other fulfills other roles within a relationship of bonding, of we have this more idea of romantic love and expressing love and so on. So there's a whole other thing to sex
Mhm.
other than reproduction, and that just shows that even their morality changes, their interpretation of God's morality. Because, for example, if you ask a Christian today, they wouldn't say that getting a blowjob from their wife is sodomy, right? But
Yeah,
that's the original understanding of the word, of the concept of sodomy.
yeah. At least most of them, maybe.
Yeah.
So here, Subsister 89 says that he doesn't think the claim is morality is objective. The claim is he grounds subjective morality. Well, one, I don't think there's a difference in that.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know what they mean by ground, because they always say it grounds subjective morality or it grounds morality, whatever. What do what do you mean by ground? That's like something I have always wanted atheists to ask Christians in these debates. What do you even mean by he grounds it? Because in like the colloquial sense, when you say to ground an idea, for example, it means to either give an example in reality or make it more concrete. There are different meanings for grounding
Mhm.
something. But when it comes to philosophy, what the hell does it even mean? Because I don't think they mean that God makes morality real or something like that.
Right. Yeah, it's I did ask that and they didn't really have an answer.
Oh, sorry.
And then I told them, oh, but this is not a circuit, like an electric circuit. It doesn't need grounding.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
what I think they mean justification, but it's not really a justification if it's a presupposition, like that you ground. Oh, God is the source of all morals,
Or
and it's especially not a grounding when God sets the rules and also breaks them.
yeah. Yeah, so that's my problem with the that word.
Yeah, pretty much. It's weird, and you always get the same thing, a special pleading, like, oh, God can do whatever he wants because he's God. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but if I set a rule and then I don't follow the rule, what incentive do the people that are under me have to actually keep the rule that I said? It's like, in general, you lead by example. It makes very little sense to set up a set of rules and then just break them just because you're the ones that sets the rules.
Yeah, then there are not rules basically, or rules for thee and not for me.
Yeah. That's wild. I saw Mr. Biscuit popped up in the chat, and he was like,
Mhm.
he said a comment, even if the Bible is false, that doesn't make God not true. And then I asked him that the time I debated him, do you think Jesus is God? Yeah, why? The Bible says so. He's like, oh, so we don't care about contradicting ourselves one bit. Got it.
So I think I just thought about this. If they say like even if the Bible is false, that doesn't mean that that God doesn't exist, I would ask something like, "Oh, so are you saying that other gods besides the one you believe in could exist?" And I think most Christians would say, "No, absolutely not." And I
Right.
think they
Yeah.
just, yeah, they just,
That is a good one. Yes.
yeah, can,
That's such a. And I mean, this discussion is so like 5,000 years old,
yeah,
and the arguments really haven't changed.
yeah, no,
So
not much.
I don't know. Well, it's like someone did make a comment in the side chat. Uh, oh, what would the atheist expect as evidence for God? It's like I don't know. God would know. God would surely know what I would consider evidence.
Yeah, I think that I would respond like, "Well, that's exactly the problem. What kind of evidence could prove, or most importantly, disprove God? Because if he cannot be disproven, there's nothing that can prove him either."
Right.
So that's
And I
exactly the
mean,
problem.
it wouldn't be too hard for God to say, like, to do a mind walkie-talkie message to everyone, like, "Hey, humans, it's God.
Mhm.
Let me remind you, these are the rules, and it's me. I'm here." But apparently, free will is a thing. I don't know how they justify that in any kind of a way, or
Yeah.
with the things that God does to humanity. Like God infringes humanity's free will all the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
So none of these makes any kind of a sense to me. And all of this is just philosophical mumbo jumbo. It doesn't. To me, my problem and why I tried the strategy that I tried is that I don't think that you can get from these philosophical arguments to the Christian God in particular. No freaking way.
Yeah. So
And then TJump told me, no, oh yeah, with Jesus, like yeah, Jesus existed.
yeah,
So
yeah, that doesn't get to Christianity.
that doesn't get you to Christianity because he died and stayed fucking dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, even if we go, Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy. So it doesn't even get you to Christianity either way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what people mean when they say messianic prophecies because I'm not literate in that sense. But
Oh, the in the Jewish Bible, in the Torah,
uh-huh.
there are very specific claims about what the Messiah is supposed to come and do,
Oh, okay.
and there are very specific. The problem is because the Bible authors were not really that intimate with the Jewish text.
Mhm.
They, I can show it here. Give me one second.
So, like, not even the Bible itself fulfills its own prophecies in its own stories, basically.
Right. That's why, for example, that's why the Jews don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah.
Okay.
Okay. For example, here. Oh shit. Let me share. Let me share my entire screen. All right. So, for example, Matthew 2:15.
Hmm.
Let me bring this up here. Matthew 2. Matthew 2:15. No, did I fuck up? I think I did.
Maybe.
Wait, hold on. Hosea 11. Let's go to that one first. Uh, 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 Hosea 11. Um, let me And that one. Okay. So in Matthew, we'll look at the verse in Matthew in just a second. But Hosea 11 says, "When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. The more I called them, the more they went from me. They kept sacrificing to the Baals and offering incense to idols." Right?
Mhm.
Now, let me do the Google search. Matthew out of Egypt. I called my son. Matthew 2:15. There we go. So 15 here. Now, after they had left, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, and this is after Jesus is born, right?
Mhm.
Then Joseph
Yeah.
got up, took the child and his mother by night, and went to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what had been spoken by the Lord through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son."
Mhm.
So the guy that wrote Matthew had no fucking clue what the other text, what this text said. He was
Mhm.
just bullshitting, improvising, because this is not a prophecy. This is
Okay.
just God saying, lamenting how even after releasing the Israelites from the from the Egyptian captivity,
Mhm.
they wouldn't listen to him. So this is a lament for the people, the nation of Israel.
Okay.
Not it's not a prophecy. And like that, there are so many more. Like, for example, let's do this one. Let's scroll of Isaiah 61 and Luke 4. Should have Luke 4 here. Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit. You can't read here, sorry. Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit, and news about him spread through the countryside. He was teaching in their synagogues, and everyone praised him. He went to Nazareth, where he had been brought up on the Sabbath day, and went into a synagogue, as was his custom. He stood up to read, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was handed to him. Unrolling it, he found the place where it is written, "The Spirit of the Lord is in me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor, has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners, and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." Then he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant, and sat down. The eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fastened on him. He began by saying to them, "Today this scripture has been fulfilled, and you're hearing it in your hearing." The problem is that when we go to Isaiah, where is Isaiah? When we go to Isaiah,
Mhm.
this is not a prophecy. This is talking about the Babylonian, when the Jews were the Babylonian captivity, the Babylonian exile. This is
Mhm.
talking about the release from the Babylonian exile. So it's not even a prophecy about Jesus.
Okay.
And when you break it down, all of the prophecies about Jesus that are claimed in the New Testament, they're all false. They're all incorrect. Take the donkey, for example. They say that Jesus rode into Israel on a donkey, but
Mhm.
the problem is that when you actually go to the original prophecy, uh, it's not just riding a donkey. It's riding a donkey, sit on the throne of Israel, reign over the Jews, and no more wars and no more things. So what the Christians do is they say, "Oh no, it's a partial fulfillment. He fulfilled the donkey part, and when he comes back, he's going to fulfill the other part." But that gives you the opening to say, "Oh, but then I am the Messiah because I rode a donkey. The part of going into Jerusalem, I'll fulfill that later. So worship me."
Yeah. Yeah, so he fulfilled the least important part of the prophecy.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, oh no, but he was a spiritual king. Like, oh, and he sat on a spiritual throne, and that you just have to like make up bullshit, because
Yeah,
what the hell is a spiritual king?
yeah.
I don't know. And if I- you have to be in a very good mood to grant them partial fulfillment or typological fulfillment or spiritual fulfillment. That's all just cope. It's basically just copium.
Yeah.
But and that is the debate I like. I don't like this philosophical bumbo jumbo. And the guy talking about, like, he brought up Newton. My guy, if you actually look at Newton, Newton did alchemy, and his theology was all over the place, like was kind of messed up. So
Mhm.
why are they doing that? Why? Grounded Extract says spiritual gymnastics. Let's go. David's Dual Sound Lab. Arwin could classify himself as a spiritual king. I mean, we can all be spiritual kings if we really want it, I guess.
We're also all spiritual billionaires.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pay you. I'll pay. Now, there was a moment that I caught Eric in the words don't mean what the words mean kind of
Oh
a
yeah.
thing. That was funny. I didn't think that they were going to fall for that, but he did.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Uh, yeah, weird debate. I hope to get more of the ones that I like, not this bullshit.
Okay. I mean, I do
The,
like.
the next one, I maybe if James ever wants me to do any of these, I'll propose that's a Christian God exists, so we can keep
Mhm.
it to the freaking Bible.
I think I think I'm like a little bit the opposite of you in this debate, because to me, like, the Bible stuff bores me, and the philosophical is what I find entertaining.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get that. We all
Yeah.
have, our preferences when it comes to what we find more appealing or not. To me, it's just very clear that if their book is false, which it is, then their religion is false, their God is false, everything is false,
Yeah.
because that's the basis of everything.
Yeah. Basically.
I don't care about doctrine, church fathers, all of that. It's like the book. The book. We start with the book, and then we see. MC Time says, I wonder why Christians think the Greek title Christ is a good name for a man who called a woman for being a Greek in Mark 7:27. I think Jesus the Christ is like calling Trump El Presidente. Oh, that was funny. Good job. Yeah. The I the linguist I have an argument against Islam based on a paper that I read about loan words
Mhm.
in the Quran. But at the same time that we have in the supposed preserved perfect word of Allah, we have loan words, but at the
Mhm.
same time, there are new words introduced into the Arabic language directly in the Quran.
Mhm.
That is a very inconsistent thing to do for a deity. And what do you mean inconsistent? It's like he's doing two different things. On the one hand, he uses loan words. On the other hand, he invents new words. That is a
Mhm.
fundamentally human thing to do, which is a very clear indication that the Quran is a man-made book.
Yeah.
In the Bible, it's a little bit less clear because they don't claim the untouched, preserved, authoritative word of Allah. They kind of have a more flimsy But I think with enough time and research, I could make a linguistic argument against the
And
Bible.
I think you can, for depending on the Christian, you can get them to say that the Bible is the literal, unadulterated word of God, and then especially if you say like, okay, uh, does the Bible? No, I kind of lost my train of thought. But saying like, okay, does the Bible, is the Bible literal? And the literalist will say yes, and the other ones no. And if they say no, oh, okay, so it's not the literal word of God. And they,
Right.
because they won't. I think most of them won't accept that, because it's not that they think it's everything that it's written it's meant literally, but they do think that it's literally the word of God. And so I think if you phrase it that way, you can sort of kind of confuse them and get them to say that the Bible is literal.
In my experience, the only one that has ever made that claim with me is Derpling Nico. And Dr. J kind of backed him up, but I don't think that Dr. J thinks that the every word of the Bible is true. So I was kind of left a little bit baffled by that.
Yeah.
So all right, I don't think we have much else to go on.
It was,
When we're less people, the after shows are usually shorter.
yeah, it would have been good that it was like the last one I was here, where there was a lot of discussion and debate. That one was pretty fun.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts, Ale.
Yeah, I mean, Christians, standard Christian arguments, standard Christian logic, uh, basic, basically again just assertions that God exists because God is the grounding for morality, which I think spiritual no Subsister 89 said like the argument is that God, he wrote it. Wait a minute. Uh, that morality, that he says that grounding means morality means that grounding morality means that morality depends on God's existence, which would make him subjective. Again, one thing that they didn't understand either somehow. I think you brought it up to them, that subjective is dependent on minds or subjects, and so God is a subject, so therefore it cannot be objective. So yeah, pretty standard Christian argumentation. TJump, again, I kind of like the atheist presuppositionalism, but I would have liked to him not to use it as his main argument, as you said, and just like use it to illustrate why presupposition doesn't really work.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I think that's basically it.
All right. Yeah, I have the same thoughts, and I don't know. It's got like don't correct your just if you're debating with someone else and they say something you don't agree with, like don't correct them. If they ask, if your opponent asks, "Oh, do you agree with him?" Just say, "Oh, that's not my position." But arguing with your debate partner, that is dumb as fuck.
Yeah,
That is dumb.
I'm, yeah, yeah.
Like why? Just leave me alone. I don't agree with all of the things that you say. I don't have to. You're not the ultimate atheist, so that I have to take whatever you say. And yeah, there's no authority. Like I don't have to submit to you, but for any reason.
Yeah,
It's wild. It's wild. MC time. You have to remember Christians have the Holy Spirit. It allows them to make shit up. The debate will devolve to arguing the words on the page against their imagination. That's fine. Because if we get to the point that Christians say that words don't mean words, that's a win. If words don't mean what words mean, that is just to me that is like, oh, fine, awesome. So when God says, I will grab these women and give them to someone close to you, it's not really that. It doesn't mean that he will take them. It's not really rape because you don't know if they consent and so on. It's like, okay, if we're starting to invent and words don't mean what they mean, then we're good. We're good. Let's continue. And
Yeah.
once you get to that point, you just continue until no word means anything really. And that's a funny thing. That to me is quite fun and funny.
Yeah, so the Bible is not reliable because we don't know what words mean what.
Exactly. Yeah. That that's pretty much the counter argument to all of that. And it's also always a little bit funny to say like, oh well, no, when it talked about buying a raped woman from their father, they're not really meaning that. It's like, oh no, when when it talks about slaves, they're not really talking about slaves. It's endangered servants or shit like that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, lovely, love
I
that.
think I think it was Eric that said that the Bible was historical.
Oh
Was
my god, yes.
I would have just gone with that and say, "Oh, okay, so the Bible is historical, so God commanded genocide."
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
that's a fact, right? According to you,
I
because
have a really hard time doing that. Granting them bullshit is very hard for me.
yeah, it's hard to come up sometimes to come up with it in the moment, but yeah.
But yeah, it was my bad that I thought that I could move the debate to a more comfortable position for me. I'll try not to do that in the future. Yeah, that was my bad. I could have done better. But that being said, they really did not want to talk about anything I brought up. Nothing
Yeah.
at all. Not even like the guy I put the presentation, I gave the verses, and then the guy started asking me for the verses, and we went back to the philosophy bullshit. All right, people, thank you so much. Before we go, make sure to the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, just the corner of your street, and just subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can show the love for the channel. Ale, thank you. You have no idea how much grateful I am to you that I didn't have to do this alone tonight, because that would have been
No worries.
boring as hell. NC Time says that shit convinces other Christians. How do we change their minds? They're destroying the world. That is a great question. That is a great question. Grounded Extracts, the man, the legend. I hope you and your lovely family are doing awesome. Can't wait for your next vid. If you haven't subscribed to Grounded Extracts, what the fuck are you doing? All right, we'll catch you tomorrow. We have a little bit of a marathon. There is a debate on some channel with Robin. She's going to be debating some Christian on whether the U.S. was created as a Christian nation. We're going to do the after show of that, but it will be a short after show because after at 9 there is another debate on MDD between First Amender and Wi-Fi Gospel, and they are debating if Ice murder I forget her name, but her last name is Wood. The
Renee, I think
lady
it's Renee, right?
Renee. I forgot. I'm sorry. It could be, yes,
no.
but Miss Wood. That's the topic. If she got murdered, and it's funny to me to have like a Christian advocating for state violence, which is completely against what Jesus said. So Wi-Fi Gospel, I'm really excited for that one. So we're going to watch that, and then that starts at 9, and then we do the after show for that one.
I find it sort of funny, not so funny, that her last name was Good.
Right?
She got shot by guys. Like, it's not funny in the literally funny sense. It's just kind of, I don't know if ironic is the word, but weird.
Yeah.
Sort of.
You know, in Spanish there is an expression, el guionista de Dios.
Yeah.
You know, the script writer for God would be the translation. And yeah, it's like sometimes those things, the irony on those is off the charts. But yeah, I'm rooting let's see what the hell Wi-Fi Gospel does tomorrow, because that is going to just be amazing in a way. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Uh, MC Time says, peace, people, I enjoy the show. Well, thank you so much. And Grounded Extract says, we love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're awesome. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great night. And I didn't set up the forward, but it will take me like a minute. So bye-bye.